It's a whiteout here. It is loud, and we are ready to go on a Sunday afternoon in Ames. And the opening tip is controlled by the Cyclones. Jada Williams runs the point for Iowa State.
And what does Baylor do to start? Player to player, but they have their best defender in Bella matching up with Williams.
It's a good shot-blocking team for Baylor. They got a piece of that shot from Addie Brown. You take a look at the starting five for this Baylor team. Ella Fauntleroy, best defender on this team. Darianna Littlepage-Buggs leading the Big 12 in rebounding. Jana Van Geitenbeek running the show at the point. Here's the point guard for Iowa State. Jada Williams looking inside, and now Crooks showing her outside touch and gets the roll. Kenzie Hare defensively on Van Geitenbeek, and a foul's going to be called on Baylor, and we'll go the other way. Normally we'll see Audie from about 2 to 3 feet. She's just letting you know she can hit from 15 again and again.
We talk a lot about Crooks' scoring, but Addie Brown, whether she gets an assist or not, has a big part of that because she stretches defenses.
That's going to roll in for Darianna Littlepage-Buggs. Williams feeds it on the inside. Crooks. 2 more. Scott weaving through traffic. Back out Van Geitenbeek, who uses the screen. She's got a good mid-range game. Shows it there.
Great job of snaking that on-ball screen, which forced Hare to get behind her.
Brown, open look for 3. It's going to be batted out of bounds by Ariana Jackson. It'll be Baylor basketball.
Williams is just chasing her off a screen, over screen. And I'm eager to see the wear and tear on her over 40 minutes of this game.
Van Geitenbeek with the kick. 3-pointer is good. Kirsten Johnson, her 8th made 3 this season. And Baylor has answered back to take their first lead. Entry to Cooks, gets in deep and 1.
2 touches for Audie Crooks on that right block, and Johnson's trying to get to the baseline side. She doesn't get there in time. Audie Crooks just too strong and powers it up through the contact.
What was that move after? You're making a Stranger Things reference about how are you going to stop Audie Crooks? I don't know if that was a tie into that. I'm waiting for my pop culture analyst, Christy Thomas-Scuddy, to weigh in on that. Scott. That's going to be off the mark, and a rebound for Elisa Williams, who comes on, plays about 12 to 14 minutes a game to give Crooks a rest.
She has been so important to the Cyclones having this undefeated point to this season.
Fauntleroy, excellent defensive player, turns the steal in the points on the other end for Littlepage-Buggs.
Every screen between Bella Fauntleroy and Darianna Littlepage-Buggs, they're switching it.
Someone other than Audie Crooks is on the board for Iowa State. It's Jada Williams. And Geitenbeek can't get it to drop. Another offensive rebound as Littlepage-Buggs gives Baylor another second chance opportunity. And she scores.
Fitting that Littlepage-Buggs was able to get that shot because she's a tough matchup because she's away from the basket with her athleticism. Well, and I got to give Nelms a lot of credit for Baylor. I thought she came in and made some big plays for them. Another great rim protector for Baylor. Just doesn't quite have the range that Johnson has.
Another good take and make by Littlepage-Buggs.
We got the top 2 scorers in the Big 12 in Taliah Scott and Crooks. We got the top 2 rebounders in the Big 12.
Jada Williams stepped out of bounds. It will be Baylor basketball. Both teams with 6 made field goals so far. 5 assists on the 6 made field goals for Iowa State. Littlepage-Buggs is locked in from the start here today.
And this is what, over the course of her career, we've become to expect. Her ability to create off the bounce, create second chance scoring opportunities by getting on the glass.
Here's Reese Beatty. Missed the last 5 games with a foot injury, number 1 on the floor. Crooks in the double figures for an 81st consecutive game. Only game in her career when she wasn't in double figures, her first career game. There's a block by Iowa State. Van Geitenbeek fights back. Baylor getting it done. And Littlepage-Buggs has scored the last 10.
Well, the turnover occurs, but if you're Iowa State, you've got to get back on defense and talk. Beatty was there but didn't defend Littlepage-Buggs. Easy score for her.
Foul called on Abraham.
Nicki Collen having a pleasant discussion with the official.
Just right of the screen. Talking to Zach Brost, one of the assistants, Tony Green, who handles the defense for this Baylor team. That's always one of the big questions and issues that teams deal with, is how the officials are going to call an Audie Crooks game. And that's something that was brought up by both staffs leading into this game. There's Audie with the rebound.
Well, it should be a point of discussion because she leads the country in scoring. She is the nucleus of this offense for Iowa State. And so the fact that she's basically averaging just over one foul a game is advantage Iowa State in most of these matchups this season.
Scott picks up the personal. To another discussion on the Baylor bench. We welcome those of you who watched Stanford win in Chapel Hill in overtime. Welcome to Ames, Iowa. Audie Crooks scored the first 9 points for Iowa State in this game. Her team up by 2. She is the nation's leading scorer, and she's in the double figures for an 81st consecutive game already, and we have 90 seconds to go in the first quarter, Christy.
Well, the second leading scorer is Taliah Scott, who is yet to get on the scoreboard for the Bears in this game.
Scott averaging 21 points a game. With that miss, she is now 0 for 6 from the field. Crooks and Abraham jousting in the paint. Abraham turns down and gets the block. Baylor has been very active. And Abraham being helped to the Baylor bench. Shalisa Fonza, the athletic trainer for the Bears. Keep an eye on those two players. Kayla Nelms is on, number 8 for Baylor. She'll bring some size, try to work against Crooks in the paint.
Nelms is the strongest of the 3 low post players for Baylor, so we expected to see her here this afternoon.
Fauntleroy working on Addie Brown. Can't get it to drop, and the rebound for Brown. Reese Beatty, first game for her since November 30th, battling a foot problem. Crooks up, under, in. Scott still can't find the range, but another second chance for Baylor. That's been a big story here in this first quarter. Shot clock off, game clock down to 7. Scott works with Nelms. 2 with 1. Littlepage-Buggs, and the Baylor will not get off a shot. And that's how the first quarter will come to an end.
For Baylor, the key has been in their 3 losses on the season, they've allowed opponents to average 35 paint points. It is something to watch as this game continues. And the other side of that is, that's where Audie Crooks is feasting right now.
Addie Brown. Crooks hit from there in the beginning of the game, can't hit this time. To the Iowa State bench. On the floor right now. Baylor's missed their last 5 field goal attempts. Crooks swings it over to Jackson. Jackson is fouled. Markayla Johnson, who is typically the first guard off the bench for Baylor, is on the floor. All right, now Jackson at the line to shoot a couple. Bradley and Murray State. Racers on an 8-game winning streak. That's at 5 Eastern on ESPN2 and also on the ESPN app. Bill Fenley looking down. Where is Jada Williams? I need my point guard into the game. There's the 3. Outstanding shooter. Yuting Dunn, the sophomore from China.
One thing, Bill Fenley has already played 10 players in this game. We're just over 2 minutes in here in the second quarter.
There's the 3 from Jada Williams. Williams had a double-double against Houston. 16 points, a career-high 14 assists. Doing it with the scoring from outside the arc. That trip, foul called on Iowa State.
I think Jada Williams has the ability to get downhill anytime she wants. Emily Ryan, tremendous point guard here for Iowa State for 5 years. The difference, though, is just that experience that Emily Bryan had in this system. But I think it's that ability to get 2 feet in the paint, draw rotations, that's helping open up three-point shooting.
So Emily, career assist leader at Iowa State, now a grad assistant, as Christy mentioned, for her alma mater.
Nice pass.
Abraham back into the game after leaving with an injury earlier, and she delivers on the offensive end.
And everyone's kind of doing it differently. Some coaches rely on their players to tell them. Others are looking at the video review.
Williams lost the handle, got it back. Baylor's really disruptive right now. They're getting a hand on everything, but out of all that, Iowa State gets another 3. This time, Ariana Jackson. Going back the other way. Offensive foul. First personal on Fauntleroy. Offensive rebound for Jackson off the miss by Williams. Crooks is fouled and she'll go to the line. So Audie Crooks to the free throw line. 35 points in 35 minutes against Houston last time out. 17 of 21 from the field. 23 of those 35 points came in the second half. This is the largest lead of the game for Iowa State. They're on top by 6. 16 for Audie. That's a good shooter. Doesn't need much room to get free either. 8 quick points off the bench. Baylor with a breakdown in transition, a wide open look, but Iowa State cannot make the Bears pay. And Guytonbeek, little hesitation, the drive and the finish. Beautifully done by Jenna Van Guytonbeek, and Baylor punching right back here in Ames.
Van Guytonbeek in the last 8 games has elevated her three-point shooting. She's elevated her assists. She's almost 8 assists a game in the last 8.
Soft touch on the turnaround with the fade by Audie, who checks out the game. Reagan Wilson on now. Dunn elevates. Can't get the drop. Offensive rebound and a second chance here. Van Guytonbeek open for 3.
Darianna Littlepage-Buggs open for that offensive rebound. And Van Guytonbeek make her pay.
Looks like Baylor's content just to let Jada Williams take that shot.
Well, I mean, this game's about playing the numbers. And so Jada Williams comes in shooting 27%. She made the 2, but would you rather she beat you from 3 or Crooks?
Or Kirsten Johnson from 3. Need a basket. Go inside. She's got 20 for the 53rd time in her career and 12th time this season. Crooks with the rebound. Gina Williams. On the back cut, Brown. Another open look for Williams, but she's lost the touch. Jackson has the touch. And Guytonbeek has played all but 5 minutes of the 3 games leading up to this one here today. Done. Offensive rebound, another second chance opportunity. Kirsten Johnson can't hit. Rebound controlled by Jackson.
Go up and in there to get the ball into Crooks.
Williams got it to Crooks. Bobby Crooks. Turnaround for 2.
And that time Jackson just couldn't catch up to her.
She has 10 of the 12 bench points for Baylor. Bench was outstanding at Oklahoma State. They've been good here today in Ames, led by Dunn. Abraham's had some good minutes off the bench. Van Guytonbeek, little hesitation then showing the 6th-year grad student still has the wheels to get to the basket. One of those undefeated teams, LSU, knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten by Kentucky last time out, and Duke with the victory over Notre Dame.
look at Bella Fauntleroy. She is shooting in the she's standing in the Big 12 logo, and she's the one who's defending Williams.
Williams says, "I'll take it, but can't make it." Brown is going to get called for the foul. Got a little too aggressive trying to get the rebound.
And the byproduct of that sometimes is that the perimeter players especially have been able to get a lot of open looks from three.
It's been a struggle from the field for Fauntleroy. 1 for 18 over the last 3 games, including today.
She's the glue of the defense. She's also the eraser. She covers so much for her teammates if and when they have a miscue.
Chance here for Iowa State to take the lead to the locker room at halftime. Lisa Williams is on the floor. Audie for 3. Couldn't get it. Jones got it. And Baylor will have a 2-point lead at halftime, Christy.
We've come to expect close games when these two teams get together. Who else steps up for these two ball clubs here in the second half?
There we go. Ready to go. Iowa State first possession of the second half. And they look right away for Audie Crooks. Uses those great hands to keep it alive. Keeps fighting. Fights a little more, but it's knocked away. Empty trip, and here is Scott. Fauntleroy. Van Geitenbeek with the left hand and the finish. Double figures now for Janet.
Great change of pace.
Kenzie Hare trying to get going. One and done. Bears right now on an 8-0 run carrying over from the second quarter. Scott's on the board. 10-0 run for Baylor.
Addie Brown needs touches. One, she needs to look for a shot, but two, I'll let you down that one. That's huge.
So Williams trying to find the range again, knocks down the 3 to end the run. Scott was hit hard. Taliah Scott, excellent free throw shooter. 91%. This is her 109th free throw attempt of the season. This is game 16.
She basically averages 8 attempts a game. And Eric, to your point, she's second in the country in free throws made.
In and out, and the rebound for Kirsten Johnson. Littlepage-Buggs. Fauntleroy tries to take it at Addie Brown. Brown stood her ground. Littlepage-Buggs with the follow, no. Good work on the offensive glass again.
Another thing that impresses me about Fauntleroy.
Her elite shooting night game, yes. Fauntleroy, good free throw shooter as well, 20 of 25 on the season. LSU ranked 5th in Nashville. Tigers coming off their first loss of the season. That's coming up next on ESPN. Kentucky with the victory, 80-78. Tony Morgan went for 24 points. Flau'jae Johnson, part of a balanced scoring attack for LSU, and Michaela Blakes leads the charge. 1 of 14 from outside the three-point line. So a cold shooting day in that game. Taliah Scott can't get it. There's Abraham with an offensive rebound. Tries to take it right back at Audie. And the rebound for Williams. Audie missed one earlier. There's Harris for 3. A little too strong. Look who gets in there for the rebound. Ariana Jackson and the second chance here for the Cyclones.
Fauntleroy continues to play off of Williams to clog up the paint area.
Harris threw it up off the window for 2. Thought she was fouled. Gets her first points. Taliah Scott wasn't expecting the pass. Jada Williams is ready. Yuting Dunn, who was outstanding in the second quarter, is on now, and she picks up where she leaves off from that second quarter. She's got 12.
She's just steady on the offensive end for Baylor.
She played 19 minutes against Oklahoma State in that come-from-behind win. She was a plus 29. Jada Williams hits a 3. Scott. Williams recovers defensively. Scott tiptoes to the basket for two. Reese Beatty, if you weren't with us earlier, the freshman from Jamestown, Tennessee. Her first game since November 30th. Battling a foot injury. She gets an assist here, feeding it inside to Audie Crooks. 26 for Audie. Scott still struggling, trying to find the range, and Audie Crooks has picked up her third personal foul. So Audie will go off with the 3 fouls. Going to have to really rely on bench production here in a tie game. That's the first miss for Baylor at the free throw line today. Baylor went on a late run. They took the lead to the locker room at 41-39. Beatty couldn't get it to drop. Littlepage-Buggs got rid of it to Scott. Scott got knocked down by Williams.
I don't disagree with that. Williams is moving in the rotation and bumps into her.
Just use your library voice so they didn't hear you behind.
There's a lot of white in this building.
Another great crowd turning out in Ames here in this Big 12 matchup with their rivals from Waco. Baylor won the 2 meetings last year. Iowa State is trailing in the first meeting since that quarterfinal showdown in Kansas City in the Big 12 tournament. And the hammer on the board ties the game and gets the crowd to their feet here in Ames. Great job by Van Geitenbeek. Got it to Abraham at the buzzer. Off the mark. And we are tied after 3 here at Hilton. She's gone for 40 or more 3 times this year.
There are players who will put up numbers like this, and they're volume shooters to get there. What's remarkable to me is, yes, the scoring, but it's the efficiency in which Crooks is doing it at the same time. Trust me, there'll be another call here soon where it flips the other way.
Crooks had it knocked away by Fauntleroy, who hit the deck hard. Scott uses the Abraham screen and gets it for 2.
So what I'm seeing towards the latter part of the third and here early in the fourth is the on-ball screen, and the guards are coming off of that and going right at Crooks. That's how Abraham's had the rolls, and they're opening up the offense now, Baylor is.
4 players in double figures now for Baylor. Jada Williams now with 18. Her season high 23 in the Indiana win. Scott. 13 points, all in the second half for Taliah Scott. Addie Brown was fouled by Dunn. Leading the team in rebounding. Number 2 rebounder in the Big 12. Behind Littlepage-Buggs. And Brown has the basket and a chance for a 3-point play. Her first points of the game. Third foul on Fauntleroy. Back to Fauntleroy. 7 on the shot clock. Scott with a deep 3. Couldn't get it. Crooks has the rebound. That's number 9 for Audie to go with her 26 points.
Bill Finley saying, throw it right here. He was trying to get Addie Brown the ball in the wing. Great denial by Littlepage-Buggs.
Get it to Audie. She tries the fadeaway on the turnaround. Couldn't get it. Scott on the crossover. Pulls up in front of Audie for 2.
Working hard and getting through that screen.
15 second half points for Taliah Scott. Jada Williams has 20.
23 attempts this evening. That's a career high for her as well.
Scott was fouled and she'll head to the line. Taliah Scott has scored Baylor's last 10 points. 7:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Illinois State, first team to win 4 road playoff games to reach the final. Montana State hasn't won the title since 1984. Scott. Taliah Scott was 17 in the second half. Can't make it 19, but look on the glass. Littlepage-Buggs with the offensive rebound, and Van Guytenbeek will bring it back.
7-0 boards now for Littlepage-Buggs.
She's been great right from the start today. 5 on the shot clock. Open look from the corner. 4-3. Kirsten Johnson. Timeout, Iowa State. The senior from Duncanville, Texas. There's Beatty.
Can't kill your dribble.
Gave it up to Addie Brown, a little too strong, and another rebound for Littlepage-Buggs. That's 19 to go along with 13 points.
Well, I started this game talking about the shot blocking ability of Baylor. 6 on the game, but that's a possession where they affected the shot because of their length.
Scott defended now by Beatty, and Beatty gets called for the foul. Iowa State, with the win, would set a new mark for best start in program history, but Baylor up by 7 as Scott hits at the free throw line. 19 points, all in the second half. Audie Crooks has attempted 1 shot here in the fourth quarter, Christy. Her last basket came with 2:38 to go in the third quarter.
And so this is another example where Hare just rushes through instead of setting a solid screen for Crooks. But it doesn't matter because Williams is going to knock it down.
Van Guytenbeek. And a foul's going to be called on Baylor, setting the screen.
She's talking to her team saying, we're okay, we got this.
Third foul on Scott. Jada Williams, again, being given all the room she wants to shoot. And she'll take it and make it.
Iowa State staying in that 2-3 matchup on the baseline out of bounds. This is an important stop for them.
2 minutes to go in the fourth. 5 on the shot clock. Van Guytenbeek on the cut, ball on the deck. Shot clock expired. It'll be Iowa State basketball. Jada Williams has scored Iowa State's last 7 points. She brings it across half court. Her team down by 3. Addie Brown. Williams for the tie. Crooks had it blocked cleanly. Johnson, Big 12 leader in blocks per game, comes up with a big one, and we have 90 seconds to go. Big collision, and the foul's going to be called, I think, on Baylor here.
I don't think she saw Williams running through.
3 straight turnovers for Baylor. Addie Brown skips it over. Can Jada Williams do it again? She looks for the assist. Audie Crooks trying to track it down. Littlepage-Buggs won't be denied. Jump ball possession arrow will give it to Baylor. Scott and Williams. The matchup.
Screen for Scott to get downhill.
Scott, Williams stands her ground. Scott couldn't finish. Here comes Iowa State down by 3. Three-pointer for the tie. Addie Brown with the rebound. No need for a 3, but they're looking for it. Jada Williams. Time at 70. Timeout Baylor.
This ball's going into Scott, and it'll be her trying to get downhill for the last shot.
How quickly do you go if you're Baylor?
I think with the rebounding prowess that Baylor has, I would go in about 8 seconds to try to give yourself a second chance opportunity.
Once again, it's Scott and Williams. Seconds.
And there she goes.
Gets the screen. Over Crooks. For the lead. 2.9 to go. And it is Jada Williams, as Christy mentioned. Bentley says our best inbounder. Where shall we go here? 2.9 to go. Baylor on top by 2.
Once again, Fauntleroy playing off.
Addie Brown looks inside. Crooks ball's down. Time has expired, and Baylor has won in a